Italian Wine Podcast. Chin Chin with Italian wine people.
Before the show, here's the shout out to our new sponsor, Ferro Wine. Ferro Wine has been the largest wine shop in Italy since 1920. They have generously supplied us with our new t-shirt. Would you like one? Just donate €50 and it's all yours. Plus, we'll throw in our new book, Jumbo Shrimp Guide to International Grape Varieties in Italy. For more info, go to italianwinepodcast.com and click donate. Or check out Italian Wine Podcast on Instagram.
All right, so this is the Pio Cesare Italian Wine Podcast on the road edition. We are at the winery with Federica, of course, the daughter of Pio Boffa. Her name is Federica Boffa.
I forgot to say something that is very important to say. On the label, at the bottom of the label of Barolo Riserva 2000, we have decided to reproduce the special key, so the key that my grandmother used to wear on her neck. Is a tribute to her longevity and to her witness and to her character. So something that it's very emotional for us, and the Barolo Riserva 2000 is an emotional release for Pio Cesare.
So the key is on just the reserves?
On just the Barolo Riserva 2000, yeah.
Okay.
And in the following wines that we will decide in the years to come to release of all vintages.
So that kind of dovetails nicely into my next question to you, is that how will you ensure, the history of Pio Cesare to be remembered for the next generations to come? I know it's a kind of a big responsibility.
Yes, it's a big responsibility, but at the same time I believe that the crucial point that has helped us to remain alive for 140 years is our artisanal touch. When I say artisanal, I am referring to the fact that the family is taking care of all the sides of the business, all the aspects of our business, from the vineyards to the cellar, to the winemaking, to the administration, to the travels. Of course, we have been forced to make up a team of very important and professional people in the vineyards and in the cellar. They are professional, so they are even more knowledgeable than us, because they have the technique knowledge. In our family, nobody has an enology degree or has an agronomic degree, because we need to be a supervisor. We need to supervise the work of our people, not because we do not trust them, but because our task is to guarantee the continuity of the style in the years to come. This is very important for us, and this is a very important aspect that my father has taught me, to be an artisan and to supervise each aspect of our job. And we are able to supervise each aspect because we are small. We are a small producer. Even if sometimes 400,000 bottles can be recognized as a big number. But if you think about the single production of each wine, is really, really a boutique production. For example, the biggest amount of bottles that we make is our Barolo Pio. Just 60,000 bottles for all the world. And that's our main Barolo. That's our Barolo. Then we have just 2 other single vineyards, 5,000 bottles each, which is really very, very small. But we need this boutique production. Otherwise, we will not be able to guarantee the continuity of the style. And in this way, in the years, we have not decided to stay close to the trends or to stay close to the taste of consumer, but to stay close to the family tradition and to the family recipe. And I believe that it's our key point, our crucial point to remain alive after 140 years. And I think that we will still be remembered because of this point.
So you spoke a little bit about your dad teaching you the importance of being, artisanal, right?
Yeah.
Being that part of winemaking. But what else has your father inspired you in terms of I guess, wine in general?
My father had a very tough character. He was a tough person. Sometimes difficult to work with him because he was very strong. He had a very strong attitude.
So, but you got on with him.
Yes, I got on with him, but I have to say that it was not my father that brought me close to the wine. It was the wine that brought closer to my dad. After many years of quarreling when I was a teenager, so thanks to the wine world, I was able to have a special bond with my father. So I started to enjoy wine. I started to enjoy wine with him, to open bottles. He taught me a lot about the wine world in general, so the different countries of the wine world. And he has taught me everything when I was very young, because he had the fear. He had the fear of dying too early. So he was very scared to die and scared not to being able to teach us, myself and my cousin, the important steps of our job. So that's why we have to say thanks to him, because when we were very young, my father was already teaching us a lot. Even if he used his way, his particular way. He was very stubborn. He had a strong personality. But I think that that was because he had a great knowledge, and he had a great respect for his job, and he devoted himself to the job 100%. He was traveling almost 280 days per year.
That's crazy.
He was on an airplane almost every day. And sometimes not even relaxing and not taking it easy. And sometimes...
Were you traveling with him together?
Yes, I started traveling with him at first, mainly in the US and in Asia, in Japan, in Korea, in Singapore, our most important markets. But then he decided to leave me alone. He said, you have to grow and you have to build your own character and your own attitude with the clients and with the wine business. So you have to work and you have to travel on your own. So I started traveling alone when I was 20 years old. I was a girl. I was very young, and that was very tough for me, because sometimes people didn't listen to me because I was very young and I was a girl.
Of course.
But then I'm still very young, but I am working a lot and working very hard to try to build my knowledge and to be respected in the wine business, in the wine world.
So are you friends with other, I guess, other wine people from your generation?
Yes.
Like, I don't know, Giovanni Gaia comes to my mind, right? Because
yes,
I think he's the same age as you.
Yes, the most fascinating point of our region and of this new area is that there is a new generation coming on, and all the wineries of our region are family-run, family wineries, and so the new generation is more or less the same age as me, and I know almost everybody. I don't go out with them on Saturday evening, but I know them because I see them every day almost, and then I have a very close bond with two other producers who are very, very small producers in the Barbaresco region. One is a girl and another one is a boy, and we go out every day and we have fun, and it's very, very fascinating to talk about the wine business under another point of view, from another point of view, with the new generation and with a new open mind, which sometimes is something that is missing in the old generation, in the past generation.
Give us some of your insights about this fascinating aspect of the new generation and their approach to wine culture.
The most important one is the respect for Mother Nature. And we are very sensitive to the, biological aspect, and to the try to respect Mother Nature as much as we can. In fact, I am following our team in the vineyards, and we are trying to reduce as much as we can chemicals in our vineyards. 2 years ago, we had made the analysis to our wines, and our wines are certified with zero residual of chemicals, We are not biodynamic, we're not biological, because my father didn't believe in certification, but he believed in them as a philosophy of production. So we were following a sort of biological practices as a philosophy of production. We didn't start to ask for any certification because we didn't want to use them as a marketing tool, but we want to use them as a philosophy of production.
But essentially, I mean, is it fair to say that your wines are organic?
In some way, yes, because we, as I said, we are not employing any chemicals for the fertilization of the soil, for the growing of the plants, for the defense of the plants against diseases. Everything is done very, very in tune with Mother Nature, trying to reduce as much as we can the stress on our plants. For example, we are employing a practice called green manure. We are trying to give mineral elements to the soil without using chemicals. So we are doing this practice since many, many years. So we are sowing in the row different kind of seeds in order to bring all the different mineral elements very important for the plant. We are, for example, we are not fining the wine with animal additive, but only with elements from, for example, potato, so vegetative elements. We have a great importance and a great respect for the planet and from our environment. I think that's the most important thing to continue to produce high quality wines.
So if your father were alive today, what do you think he would have said something about the new wines?
He would say that we have produced Barolo del Comune di Serralunga, which is a sort of a compromise between the Pio Cesare traditional philosophy of blending and the new modern philosophy, which is the philosophy of the cru, the single vineyard. Because Barolo del Comune di Serralunga is a Barolo from just one village, but it is produced with 4 vineyards blended. So it's a sort of a compromise between the old age and the new age. And he was very, very happy and very, very proud of this wine.
But traditionally, I mean, Pio Cesare it's the blending school, right?
Yes, from the Barolo and Barbaresco to Barbera to Nebbiolo and to Dolcetto. We are using the blending philosophy with all the grape variety that we have and the most important kind of wines that we have. Then in 1985, the first single vineyard Barolo came out from our family. It was Barolo Ornato from the village of Serralunga d'Alba. 1985 was the first vintage. And my father decided to produce it not because he believed it was better than the blend, but because he wanted to prove and to show to our clients and to our friends that there is a big and huge difference from the blend with the single vineyard. So of course the single vineyard is the expression of the single property, is the expression of the luxury of the single property, but the blend and the classic Barolo is the picture of the entire region, is a very faithful picture of our great Barolo area or of our great Barbaresco region. So
have you planned any trips in the fall? When is your next traveling schedule?
My next traveling is something very, very happy and a little bit crazy, I would say. I am flying to Sicily next week to have a tasting of a Barolo and Etna. So it's a tasting, comparative tasting that we are having in Sicily, and I'm very excited to be with them and to also to see and to visit a little bit Etna because I've never been there. And then the next international traveling I have in my agenda is the wine experience in October, in New York.
You know, actually, I did a blind tasting, I think in Sicily. Mm-hmm. I think 14 wines.
Wow.
Etna Rosso and Barolo. And let me tell you, it's not that easy because even I had tasted it with Aschieri at the time and Benanti, mm-hmm. With a group of wine experts, quote unquote. And even they didn't get all of the wines right. So I think it's very interesting that there's this comparative type of tasting between Barolo and Etna.
Yes, I'm very excited.
Okay, so Federica, listen, I wish you the best of luck. I think your father would be very, very proud of you.
Thank you, Stevie.
You have a huge responsibility to continue in the name of Pio Cesare, but I think you're great. You have such enthusiasm, and thank you so much for the invitation. And I will see you very, very soon.
Thank you, Stevie. It was an honor, and hope to see you soon, somewhere in the world.
Well, I'll see you in Verona. You're coming up to
Yes,
Verona, right?
yes, we'll see you in Verona in next week.
Yep, next week.
Next week. Very exciting.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Federica. That's all for now. This is Italian Wine Podcast on the road edition at the Pio Cesare Winery. Until next time, arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Ciao, ciao.
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, cin cin.